Hey guys, what's up? Bob here. Welcome back to a Pika video. This is a different Pika video though. This is going to be me talking about the league. And why I'm going to do that, well, we've just had a bunch of really cool trades. Trade window doesn't end until the end of week 8, but I still wanted to go over everything. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Well, let's go over my trades first. So, you'll look at my team right here. What have we got different? Well, of course, we already traded our Claydol for, like a Golurk for a Claydol, and I think that was a good trade overall. I think that's something that's going to benefit us. But we also just traded off at the end of week 5. We traded off our Mega. We traded off our Mega Manectric for a Mega Banette. Why did we do that? Well, the reason we did that was because we wanted to have a. Well, the thing was, we weren't using our Mega, like at all. I only brought it to one game. It didn't do anything for me that none of my other stuff did. So I was looking at it and I'm like, well, I don't really need it. I like it, but I don't need it. So we traded that off and we picked up Mega Banette. Now, what does Mega Banette do for us? Well, it's got a couple of really cool things going on. First off, it's got 165 base physical attack and priority Shadow Sneak. That's always nice. I didn't have a ghost type, keep in mind. So priority Shadow Sneak is something good. Also, it's got a lot of really, really nifty support moves. It's got potentially Thunderwave, Toxic, Wisp, Destiny Bond. You know, you can sub with it, you can taunt. I think it gets like, oh, what's it called? The good move. What's that good move? I forget. Anyway, there's names. It gets moves. It also actually gives us plus 80 points. I don't know if you see that here. What that means, basically, the lower tier megas give you extra points. So if you look over here, Mega Absol gives them plus 40. It gives us plus 80. And that's actually super duper nifty. Because what that means is that we can basically use those points to trade for some other stuff that is like a higher tier. So if you look down here, I don't have any points remaining because I made another trade. We actually traded off our Sigilyph for a Goodra. Now, we traded off our tier 4 for a tier 2. I don't think that's the first time that's happened in PICA. I think I did something similar last time. I think I traded off a tier 3 for a tier 1. But we made some aggressive moves, and we picked up a probably all-around better Pokemon in Goodra. I love Goodra. Like, if you guys don't know, Goodra is one of my favorites. And honestly, we didn't really lose anything. Like, we gave up Flying, Psychic, and Electric typing, and we still have that covered. Jirachi's got, Psychic. Thundy has Electric and Flying, and I still got Flying and Rotom as well. And we picked up Dragon typing and Ghost typing, neither of which I had. So, basically what we did was we were able to kind of just, like, supplement our team really, really well, I think. And I think that'll be really good. So, what else has gone on in the league? Well, we'll go over, like, ratings and stuff later. I just wanted to do this as kind of a general update, by the way. Like, not necessarily going over power rankings or anything, but I will, give my thoughts on some of that stuff. The nice thing is, I'm not doing this on the PICA channel, so I don't have to be objective. I can be super subjective and just kind of talk about stuff like how I would like it to play out. So, let's see, team changes. So we've got all these trades. This is for, like, trades that are happening during the week. This is for, stuff that's already happened. So, let's see. Is this in any order or anything? I don't know. Okay, yeah. So, there were a bunch of trades early in the trade deadline thingy. Iowa Focus Energy dropped Frostlass for Drapion, which actually benefits me. Bastiodons dropped Hariyama for Metacham, which is probably good. Berkhamsted Bastiodons also dropped Braviary for Rotom Fan, which is probably good generally. They dropped a physical attacking. They got Volt Switch, basically. Volt Switch is good. Park Rangers dropped Togetic for Escavalier for more offensive momentum. They already had some decent hazard removal, I think. Don't quote me on that. I dropped Golurk for Claydol. Dashers dropped Cacturne for Mantine. Napes dropped Crustle for Sandslash. Golbats, Xatu for Sneasel. Red Shells dropped Blastoise for Greninja and Beartic for Tauros. They already have a lot of really good hazard removal, so they didn't really need Blastoise, and they picked up a lot more offensive presence in Greninja. And then they also dropped their Beartic for Tauros, which is just an all-around better Pokemon, because Beartic kind of sucks. Alright, Golbats made another trade. They dropped Gyarados for Gliscor, so they dropped offense for defense and hazard removal and stuff. Rayquaza's dropped Audino for Licky Licky, which is all around better, I think. It's got probably a better move pool. Similar Wish capabilities. Licky Licky's just better. Trevenant dropped Mega Charizard X for Mega Blastoise. They wanted hazard removal because they didn't have any sort of really good hazard removal. I probably would have just gone with regular Blastoise and, kept the Mega Charizard. But it also allowed them to drop Alomomola for Kyurem, which is a really good defensive Pokemon all around. He gets Roost. He gets, good Ice-type attacks. He's got good offensive stats, good defensive stats. He's just really good all around. So, yeah, I think that's probably better to have Kyurem than Alomomola. So, and they made a couple of trades later, too. So the Squim Malamars traded Cobalion for Gligar and Hitmonchan for Electivire. So they dropped both of their fighting types, but at the same time they picked up Defog support. They picked up a nice defensive guy in Gligar with good resistances. I think that's the more important thing than anything because they already have Ice type resisted. So Gligar pairs really well with a lot of the stuff that they have. And then they dropped Hitmonchan for Electivire. Electric Immunity, he's better offensive all around. They already picked up, hazard removal in Gligar, so they didn't really need Hitmonchan as much. And Evire just has a lot of really, really good offensive stats. It's a tier 5 too, so I think that's a good value pick. The Transylvania Trevenants made 2 more trades. They dropped Perugly for Zebstrika. Probably shouldn't have had Perugly in the beginning, honestly. And then Ditto for Aromatisse. Now, the difference here is Ditto is able to stop setup sweepers, or at least, kind of deal with them, kind of revenge kill, and potentially, punch some holes in teams after. Whereas they picked up Aromatisse, who's a fairy type, which is amazing. I was actually looking at picking up Aromatisse myself, but I kind of suggested that they pick up Aromatisse. So I was like, yo, you still trading for that? And he's like, yeah. So I was like, okay, well, I'll let you do that then. Because I didn't want to be a dick and, nab it from under him. But yeah, so they dropped their Ditto for it. I think that's still a really good trade, honestly. And then I traded, Mega Manectric for Mega Banat and Sigla for Gudra, which I think is really good. And then, last but not least, the Denver Dashers traded off their Rotom, is standard Rotom, for Spiritomb. Spiritomb is really, really good in terms of just defensive stats. It's got some decent offensive stats as well, and some good support moves, especially like Wisp. And the Infiltrator ability is actually really good as well. So, yeah, that's what is going on in a trade window. So I think that's really cool. And then, okay, so one other thing that I wanted to do for this, I wanted to go over the team rankings. So let's go ahead and go over here. Okay, so this is the overall rankings. This is at the end of week 5, which just wrapped up, and I don't think there have been any week 6 matches, so there nothing has been clouded. So this is going week to week. So I was originally number 6, and I've moved up since. Although technically this week I moved down. I should be in red, but because I was tied for first, and now I am clear second, but that's okay. So let's go ahead and go over the week 5. So first off, Berkhamsted Bastiodons, they are 5-0, so absolutely mauling everybody, and they've got like a plus 15 differential or something. Or I think it's plus 16. Let me check. So they are right here. Yeah, plus 16. That's insane. Yeah, I know every team is beatable, but honestly, I don't know who's going to beat these guys. They do have a lot of really difficult teams coming up, but honestly, they are just going to crush people. Anyways, next up we've got me. I'm 4-1 with a plus 12, which is pretty good. I think I still need to win all my games. Like, if I had beaten Dom, I would have felt a lot more confident, but at the same time, these things happen. So we need to keep our wins. We need to get back on our winning stuff and whatnot. But I think that's definitely something that's doable. Next up, we've got the Denver Dashers, who have been on a steady climb since week 2. Where were they? Let's see. They were kind of... Oh, wait. Okay, week 2. They were like halfway down in week 2, and they've moved up since, and are now clear number 3, which is actually really cool. My buddy's Scoria Limit, I'm really happy to see him doing well. Um, and he actually uploads everything too. So that's cool. Next up, Washington Red Shells. They've moved down, actually. It's actually really funny. Okay, so if you look at week 3, they technically moved down, even though they won their match, which is unfortunate for them. But they've been like top couple of teams the entire season, and that's really impressive. Um, but yeah, the Washington Red Shells are they lost this week to the Iowa Focus Energy, so they're 4-1 with I think +9. Denver Dashers are +10. So yeah, Red Shells, man, I see them getting that win back though, and honestly, I can see them just going like undefeated for the rest of the season. Although I play them in week 8, or no, week 7 I think. So hopefully we'll beat them. Um, Anyways, next up we got the Richmond Rayquazas, who have been moving on up since very early. They lost week 1 and have not lost since, and they only lost week 1 kind of on like a bad team building, where they like forgot an ability that was really important. But anyways, yeah, he's been a beast. Hopefully we can hold him off though. Like that's kind of where it's at. Like I need to keep winning because he'll probably keep winning as well, and then I need to beat him in our rematch. Dom's a really cool guy though, so like I don't want you to think I'm like throwing shade at him or anything, but like yeah, he's my broski. Anyways, let's see. Next up is the Vespa Queen Park Rangers, who have lost 2 in a row. Ouch. Yeah, I think yeah, because they lost to the Red Shells and then to the what you call them? To the who did they lose to? The Golbats, I think, right? Something like that. Yeah, I think they lost to the Golbats, didn't they? Oh gosh. Let me check. Let me check this. Oh man, I'm gonna freak out. What? Yeah, it was almost certainly the Golbats, right? Yeah, there it is. Okay, cool. That was a good match. I'm happy for Chris. So let's see team rankings back here. Hey, so yeah. Anyway, they lost 2 in a row. So their division is absolutely wide open. It's them, the Squamalamars, the Shamrock Snovers, and the Gotham Golbats actually. You never want to lose those divisional matchups, but at the same time, like, if they were going to lose to anybody, bottom seed's probably the best one to lose to, as opposed to like the Malamars, because if you're going to lose to Robotnik, then that means he's probably going to take the division. So, anyways, next up we've got the Iowa Focus Energy off of a win against Red Matt. I think they 3-0'd him too, so that's pretty impressive. Yeah, I play them next, so I'm kind of nervous. Next up is the Squamalamars, who are 3-2 +2. Oh yeah, the Vespa Queen Park Rangers are oh wait, hold up. Let's do Richmond Rayquazas first. I want to say they're +8. Let me check. I think they're +8. They're in red. Yeah, they're +8. So yeah, 4-1 +8, 3-2 +9. +3, I think. I don't know. And then let's see. So, yeah, Squamalamars. Their division is so close right now because both of their top teams are 3-2. So even the like Shamrock Snovers could potentially take it. And of course the Gotham Golbats. They're not doing amazing, but at the same time they could definitely pick up a couple of wins and be right in the hunt. Especially because they'll be playing against the Squamalamars and the Vespa Queen Park Rangers. So if they beat both of them, then it'll guarantee losses for both of them. So that's good. Next up is the DMR Shadow Absols. They picked up a 5-0 win in week 4 and a forfeit win in week 5 because of family issues or something for the Detroit Magnetons, which is unfortunate for them. But at the same time, Cedric not quite cracking top 8, but definitely on his way to. If he can win his next match, I could definitely see him taking some shots at us. He'll be talking some mad trash. Cedric loves to talk trash, and it's amazing. He's like my favorite. So next up is the Shamrock Snovers. They lost to Robotnik. Their team's still really good though, so like I'm glad I don't have to play them. Next is the Oneonta Quagsires. Oneonta? Something like that. It's I can never pronounce it right. I never pronounce it the same way 2 times in a row, which is probably bad. Anyways, they won their match against somebody. Who'd they beat? They beat somebody good, if I recall. I helped them plan. I should know this. They beat Vec, duh. All right, yeah, that makes sense. Um, yeah. Anyways, they're doing okay. Their differential isn't amazing because they got 6-0 in week one, but you know what? They just need to focus on getting wins, and I think they're 2-3 right now. And if they are able to pick up a couple of wins, they can actually put themselves into contention for the wild card slot. Because Bastiodons are taking their division, no doubt. But yeah, the Quagsires can definitely come back and do some stuff. Next is the Indus Valley Invernapes. They beat the Squib Malamars in week 4, but they lost after that. I don't know who they lost to. I think they lost to Nick. Nah, didn't they? No. Nick played the other guys. Who'd they lose to? Don't you love that you can just kind of like flick around and like look? They lost to the Dashers, duh. That makes sense. Dashers are up here. Anyways, next up we've got the Detroit Magnetons who had to forfeit their match. I don't know if they probably would have beaten Cedric, but I'd never count Cedric out, honestly. He's really good. He's okay, and his team's really good. His team is really thready, actually. That's I should say that. Like, it's not necessarily that his team's amazing, but it has like every threat in the world. So like, if he can get one of them to work, then he can just sweep. The problem was like he had to pick stuff from like the leftovers from the draft, and it was a 16-person draft. So like after 15 other people picked, he had to go through and pick what was left. I think there was definitely some options for some teams there, but I think he just like looked at it and was like, okay, well I just need a bunch of threats. So that's kind of what he made. I don't necessarily think the typings kind of like line up right, but whatever. And then let's see. After that is the Gotham Golbats, who picked up a win against the Vespa Queen Park Rangers, because like that's what happens sometimes. And then Transylvania Trevenants, who lost to the Quagsires, and the LA Slow Kings, who still don't have a win, which is unfortunate. They've got my shuckle too, so I'm mad. I that was so funny. I just started shouting at them when they drafted it. Anyways, let's go ahead and go down here. Not like actually shouting at them. I was just like, what? You know how I get. Like, how could you do this to me? Anyway, here's the divisional rankings. Shuckle's still tentatively on top of our division, but it's still close. Dashers moved up to being number 1 in their division, which is actually really surprising because Red Shells had kind of been owning it for a while. But Dashers have been solid number 2 for the entire time, so they just stepped in when the Red Shells kind of stepped down. After that, this division has been pretty solid like the entire time. But anyways, let's see. Berkhamsted Bastiodons have been absolutely owning the Diamond division. The only real everybody else has been fighting for second, honestly. And then this one, oh my gosh, this is a mess. Okay, so technically there hasn't actually been that much change, but none of these teams have been able to string together that many wins. Okay, so going into this draft, it was like, generally speaking, it was accepted that the Vespa Queen Park Rangers, Squim Malamars, Berkhamsted Bastiodons, and Washington Red Shells were the 4 best teams. And if you look at that, Berkhamsted Bastiodons are going to have to play all of these guys at some point, except for one of them. I don't think they play I want to say they don't play the Snovers or something. It's something weird, because they played against somebody from our division, or our conference. But, so yeah, Bastiodons are going to have to play all these guys. What that means is that somebody's taking a loss, it's either them or one of these guys. So that's going to be interesting to look at. And it also means that these guys are going to play each other. And the Snovers are not anything to joke about either. And the Golbats actually have a really solid draft. Even though they're in last in their division, they've still got one of the more solid drafts in the league, in my opinion. So all these guys are just fighting each other, and they're absolutely destroying each other. Like, nobody is able to just assert dominance over their entire division. And because of that, it's actually opening the door for some of these guys to go after the wild card slot, especially the Quagsires now. Of course, these guys are still gonna be killing each other and stuff, but one of them is gonna win the division. If if they can actually like if any of these guys like are really dominant in the second half of the season, then actually and the Oneida Quagsires are able to win, like a bunch of games, they can actually slip in there just off of the back of this division being so tumultuous and just self-destructive. So that's really interesting in my opinion. But yeah, the Bastiodons are I'm assuming going to take their division. Like unless something crazy happens where like the Quagsires just win every game and Bastiodons lose, 4 times or whatever, then and I honestly don't see them losing 4 times because they're going to be playing the Slow Kings again. I think they're going to be playing the Trevenants again, and then they might lose to these guys, but I honestly can see them beating them. So, what does that mean? Well, it means that there's a lot of crazy stuff going on in the league. And then over here, oh my goodness. Okay, so actually, look at this. Look at this though. Like these 4 teams, or sorry, let's see. Yeah, these 4 teams are all in my conference, and 4 of the top 5. That's pretty impressive, honestly. Like considering that we were like looking at this at the what you call it, this conference to be like the powerhouse, the fact that ours has a lot of just really dominant teams is really cool. So yeah, I don't know. Anyway, that's just something I looked at and I was like, oh, that's neato. So overall, I think it was all that stuff was based off of differential. So we can look at that here and just see that okay, here's how that kind of shakes out. Except for wait, hold up. Richmond Rayquazas, they have the same overall record as the Vespuccian Park Rangers. Or they've got more wins, duh. Okay, and the same difference. Okay, I get it. Sorry, we're being dumb. Anyways, so last thing we are gonna do, I'm gonna just give my little picks for all the last few games, or the next couple of weeks, or the next week basically. So this set of games. So ideally, you know what? We're gonna leave me some comments and stuff, and I'll see how wrong I was. But okay, Oneida Quagsires versus Squamalamars. This should be pretty good. The Quagsires are still looking for wins and stuff, but the Squamalamars, I think they've got a really really good draft right now. I see them winning. I think they're just so good. Honestly, Robotnik's just really good. Although the Quagsires do have things to deal with some of the Squamalamar's main threats, so keep that in mind. Next up, LA Slowkings versus Shamrock Snovers. I think the Snovers are going to win. Slowkings really haven't shown me a lot. And that's no offense to them. Like, he's an okay guy, although he stole my Shuckle, so I'm going to beat him up. But, no, I'm kidding. But they've got good Pokemon, but I don't think that the team building has been there, and I don't think the play has been there. So, I don't see them beating the Snovers, who are very good in my opinion. Next up, Berkhamsted Bastiodons versus Vespuccian Park Rangers is probably going to be the match of the week. It's definitely going to be the one I'm looking forward to most. I think the Bastiodons should win, but I think they should. I don't know if they will. Socrates plans really, really well, but I don't know what he is going to do, against this team, because it's so good. So yeah, I don't know. I think the Bastiodons will win. I'm gonna be decisive with this. I'm not gonna be like, oh, it could go either way. Even though it could, I think the Bastiodons are gonna win. Next up, Trevenants versus Golbats. Golbats have a better draft in my opinion. So them. And I don't know. Not to take anything away from either guy, but Vec, he brings a lot of really cool sets, but they don't always work. Whereas I think the Golbats, look at their draft. It's so good. Mega Altaria, Latios, Ferrothorn, Empoleon, Jolteon, Virizion, Weezing, Victini, Gliscor, Primeape, Sneasel. That is a freaking stacked draft. Honestly, that's really good. Who's next? Richmond Rayquazas versus Industria Infernapes. The Infernapes are not doing amazingly right now, but that doesn't mean they're bad. They're actually very, very good. But honestly, the Richmond Rayquazas just have such insane offense that I think they'll win. The Infernapes actually they would have beaten Matt, and they beat Robotnik. They only lost to Matt because of some hacks. And they straight up beat Robotnik 5-0 or something. So I could definitely see them winning. But I think that the Rayquaza's offense is just way too strong. So unless he messes up major, I think the Napes will win. Or I mean, sorry, I think the Rayquazas will win. So yeah. Anyway, that's my pick. And then let's see, DMR Shadow Absols versus Denver Dashers. It's got to be the Dashers. Cedric's gonna talk some trash because he always does, and it's fun. But I think the Dashers are gonna win this. I just like he's doing amazingly right now. He's playing really well, and he's got a Cresselia. Like, what do you do to that? So yeah, I think that'll win. And then let's see, Magnetons versus Red Shells. Red Shells. The Magnetons, they've got a rain team, so I mean they're always major threats. But if you look at the defensive stuff that the Red Shells can bring, I think it's just absolutely like too much for the Magnetons to deal with. I don't think they have a lot for Electros. They don't have a lot for Florges. They can hit it, but like probably won't die. Mega Scizor is always really good. Even even if it's just like throwing some nice bug moves, it can do some big damage. Latias is going to be a major problem. Toxicroak even can do a lot, and Tangrowth is going to be able to eat up any sort of physical rain-based offense. Even like an Ice Punch, it just doesn't care. So I think that they're going to win that one. And then me, my match against Nick, and I'm going to beat him. I'm going to beat him up and crush him. And he's actually, his team is really annoying. Look at this. Look at this crap. Okay, hold up. Look at this. Togekiss, Mega Gallade, Gengar, Blissey, Entei, Forretress, Seismitoad, Raichu, Tyrantrum, Chestnut, Drapion. What the heck? He's got a Blissey and a freaking Fori and Chestnut and Tyrantrum, so he can basically, and like a Togekiss, he can like just wall up, and then you just don't do anything to it, and I'm gonna be mad. I think we can beat him though. I still think we can beat him. I think we can take him. I'm gonna crush him. Anyways, yeah, that's gonna be it. That's my little week 5, like 50% through the league recap thing. Yeah, if you enjoyed, feel free to leave some comments. The link to this spreadsheet, which the guys maintain, and it's amazing. Yeah, it'll be in the description. I always talk about like, oh, check out the spreadsheet, and, in my Pika videos. This is actually what it is. Like, it's got all the teams, their records, team MVPs, overall MVP. Let's actually look at who's how is Blissey the MVP? What the heck? And like it's just one of those things. Hey, here's Thundy and Suicune. Yeah, they fell down a bit. They were 4 and 5 respectively. They both got knocked out, and they didn't get any kills. Oh well. Actually, my team MVPs, the whole situation here. Check this out. Suicune 6 kills, Thundy 6 kills, Zoroark 5 kills, Heracross 3, Sigilyph, who's traded off now, but he was 2. Jirachi has 2, Blaziken has 1, Nidoqueen has 2, and Rotom has 1. I mean, that's a pretty good spread, honestly. Like, yeah, I think that's pretty solid. Anyways, guys, that's gonna be it for this video. Yeah, check this out, and I'll see you later and stuff. Bye.